put pressure on Vishy, not just on the board but also on the clock. It's 20 minutes without any increment at all. b3 played, and Vishy pushes his pawn to c5. e3 played in this position, and a6. Now the move a6 is aimed against bishop b5, because bishop b5 pins the knight, and Vishy feels that this knight is very important as it controls the key central squares, and it's worth investing one move there. d4 by Hikaru, and Vishy brings his knight out to f6. He takes the pawn on c5, and right now the pawn cannot be recaptured. You can give a check and recapture it, but Vishy says why not take it with the bishop, and here Hikaru plays g3. Now logic would clearly state that a position where you've played e3 and g3 both shouldn't be good for white, and the engine sort of agrees with it that black has already equalized out of the opening. However, what Hikaru wants to do in this game is not really claim an opening advantage. He just wants a position where he can play on and on against Vishy and use his superior speed skills to outwit his opponent. Now Vishy was known for his speed skills as well, better known as the lightning kid, but at 54 it's natural for your reflexes to slow down a bit, but we'll see how the game develops. Bishop takes, the rook comes to d8. Until now the opening has been absolutely amazing for black. Hikaru now brings his knight out, and it's time to develop this bishop on b7, so b5 makes absolute sense, and that's what Vishy plays. He pushes his pawn to b5. Hikaru, now spotting a chance that this diagonal has opened up, pushes his pawn to c4, and Vishy calmly just brings his bishop out and says everything's good for me here, no problems. Queen e2 played, and now can you already take twice here on c4? Maybe yes, but Vishy first plays bishop b4. He does not start by taking, he plays his bishop, he's attacking the knight, and then it would be a big problem here on the d file. So Hikaru takes on b5, ab, and now rook c1. You cannot take this pawn, of course, your knight is hanging, and bishop a3 played to attack the rook on c1, but now the rook can enter into the camp here with rook c7, but of course Vishy is well prepared here. He's going to play his rook to d7. Now if you take on f6, he can simply capture back, it's not a problem. So Hikaru comes back, and Vishy goes bishop a6. He wants to play b4 and attack the queen. Now not all of your opponent's ideas need to be entertained, is what Hikaru says. I'm happy if Vishy plays b4. Yes, I'm a bit worried that his bishop opens up, but on the other hand, look at this guy on a3. That's not a good piece there. It's stopping rook from coming to c1, but it's also a bit kind of blocked in, isn't it? Rook c6 comes in, and Vishy brings his rook back, and now a good move is to push the pawn to e4. White should have a small advantage, but Hikaru goes knight f3, trying to attack the bishop. It's a bit, and now queen to e2. Now rook c8 played here, attacking the rook. Vishy trying to get rid of a few pieces, takes on f6. Now if queen f6, there's knight d4, which is a fine position, but Vishy can actually take on f3 as well. This is also possible to get rid of the knight and then play it this way. So he has these options, he's thinking, but he takes with the g pawn. Maybe not the best here. It does weaken his king a bit, and Hikaru finds the best move, knight d4. You will see that as more pieces are getting traded, the bishop on a3 does feel a bit out of place. He goes back, and now it's time to open up the position. e4, fine move here. White is already pressing, and this is exactly the kind of game Hikaru had wanted. Vishy down to 5 minutes on the clock. Hikaru has 6 minutes. Bishop takes e4. Pressure down here, and Anand plays rook d8, trying to pin the knight, a very good move is to bring the rook back here, trying to look for knight c6, but he takes on g6. This is actually quite a good development for Vishy. Now he's doing okay, his king looks safer, and he plays his queen to d6, pinning here, not letting the knight move. So Hikaru can either play rook d2 or the other rook to d2. Let's see which one he plays. He plays this one to d2, now threatening knight c6. A good idea is to play queen a6, but what a move by Vishy. Rook c6, rook c8 could be a blunder here for some, but we all know Vishy, he loves his fortresses, and he's actually given up his queen here for a fortress. The engine says it's not a good idea, but for Vishy, where he sees that he has 3 minutes on the clock, he realizes that actually this will ease out his play perhaps. Rook c d6, and now this was the same concept which he used in his world championship match against Gelfand. Now h4, Hikaru is better, that's beyond question, but Vishy has these two rooks and he plays it to d5, stopping h5. King comes up, and black also brings his king up. 2 minutes 25 seconds for Vishy, 3 minutes 17 seconds for Hikaru here. He brings his rook up to c4, but can we now enter into the position? Yes, rook d2, this bishop needs to come into the game. Queen g4, again threatening h5 perhaps. Vishy needs to speed up. 2 minutes 31 seconds on the clock. He plays this move taking 34 seconds. That's too much. That's too much. He needs to play faster now. He stops h5. It's the best move in the position. Hikaru can go to the 7th rank, but goes queen f4, trying to threaten this rook here, but Vishy chops off the pawn. g4 played, preparing h5 once again. Rook comes to d2, and can he go h5? He can, but then maybe after takes the rook will settle on g5 square. So he goes rook c8, trying to create this mating net. But Vishy is like, Hikaru, what about your pawn here on g4? Have you forgotten about it? And with 1 minute 33 seconds for Vishy, 1 minute 43 seconds for Hikaru, check, king h3, f5, what a move, making square for the king here. Vishy is equalized, maybe even slightly better. You can look at Hikaru, he's trying to find a mate. It doesn't exist, f3. And now the rook has to move. He finds the best move again, rook gd4. Under pressure, Vishy is finding his moves, but he's taking maybe a bit too much time. He's a bit too relaxed, or he's under pressure. He takes the pawn again, but 17 seconds there utilized. His position getting better with every move. He has more pawns now. He's actually materially ahead as compared to Hikaru. Queen g3 needs to take care of his king. King comes up, rook g8, trying to threaten a check here, but it's not a mate. It's not a mate in the position. Rook d3, good move, pinning here. Vishy is able to survive this amazing attack by Hikaru. King comes back to e7, and now with 1 minute 14 seconds, Hikaru plays rook f7, rook f8, attacking the f7 pawn. Vishy takes the pawn. The f7 pawn is falling, but Anand has seen that his king can run away. This is amazing play here by Vishy, but the time is not enough. Again finds the best move. Rook takes, king moves up. 18 seconds for Vishy, 56 for Hikaru. Check here, moves the king back, brings the queen in. The king is safe, it's running away. Rook goes back, maybe trying to check here, and he plays a good move, maybe trying to block in on this square, but only 9 seconds left. Hikaru has 43 seconds. Check, king d5, check, and Hikaru, Vishy is okay with a draw, but Hikaru is like, I can still play on, and king goes back with 2 seconds left. He moves his rook, check, king here, bishop b2, good move, but he loses on time. The final position in fact is equal, and Hikaru has to be careful there. You can see Hikaru was not happy with that victory. He doesn't want to flag Vishyanand. In fact, before the tournament, he even mentioned that he was very excited to play Vishy over the board. He has immense respect for him, as can be seen by the tweet that he made after India won the Olympiad, where he gave Vishy a huge credit for what happened. But here it's the nature of the tournament. You're playing for your team, and you have to sort of sometimes play for the time and so Hikaru did that. But Vishy, what a player he is. Even at this age of 54, he's able to match move for move against a player like Hikaru, who's an absolute beast, almost at the level of Magnus Carlsen here. And Vishy is smiling there. He definitely enjoyed that struggle, but there are some limitations when it comes to age, and no one can surpass it, not even